You closed with mentioning, of course, God calling Abram out of Iraq to the promised land, and you closed with a prayer. You know, Israel's an interesting society at many different levels, a largely secular society. But from your own perspective, you know, what role does God play in all this? You know, there's Bible prophecies that say Israel, Jews were going to come back. Your family seems to be evidence of it. But just how do you see, I'm not talking about religion so much, but just your own sense of how God plays in all these affairs, given that otherwise you're all pretty much alone increasingly in the world if God is not with you.
There are many misconceptions based on lies and propaganda to fight back, to deal with. One of them I will mention. It's about what is called the settlements. It has become a general wisdom that there are certain territories, certain areas in the land of Israel which are forbidden for Jews. Unbelievable. The Arabs can live everywhere. They live with us, the citizens, with the same civil rights. In Galilee, in Haifa, in Jaffa, we welcome them. We want them to be more involved with the Israeli society. I commanded a couple of them in the IDF. They volunteer to serve in the IDF. They are not obliged to serve, they volunteer to serve in the IDF, and we welcome them. And of course, the Arabs have the right to live in Jenin, in Nablus, in Jericho, and that's fine. How come it has become a general wisdom among Western like-minded people that Jews are not allowed to live in Gaza, and actually they do not live there anymore? We evacuated mostly. And I believe that many Israelis regret it.
Yes.
And Western like-minded leaders are talking about illegal settlement in Judea and Samaria. This is our historic evidence. Not talking about Jerusalem. Now, what we claim, that if our neighbors, the Palestinians and the Arabs, are talking about coexistence, living peacefully, side by side, why do they insist for this ethnical cleansing? To evacuate the Jews. And this is the reason that we suspect them. We don't want to live side by side with a Jewish state, as we mentioned in my briefing. They still believe that they will be able to implement what they call the phases theory. Let's eliminate the state of Israel phase by phase, state by state. Let's push the Jews from Gaza. It has been done, unfortunately. Let them push them from Judea and Samaria. And then from Tel Aviv. And it is amazing how Western like-minded people allow this immoral way of thinking. And all of us should fight it back.
Often when I'm speaking, I don't think I've used that at the conference yet today, the last 2 days here, but Psalm 122:6, of course, tells us that the Lord is saying, commanding us to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. I usually say that the Arafat translation was pray for a piece of Jerusalem and kill all the Jews and Christians and take it all for themselves. So that's Baze's scenario. So the relationship between Israel and evangelicals, how would you describe it? Do you see it as positive? I'm guessing you do, but I don't want to characterize it. I appreciate you coming. And what can we do? Pick up on the themes that you ended your talk with, but you talk a little bit more about what the government of Israel currently sees as a healthy relationship between followers of Jesus Christ around the world and Israel.
The challenges that we have discussed in the last hour or so are not just the challenges for the state of Israel. I would say that the Iranian threat, the radical Islamic or jihadist threat, is a threat for the Western civilization. What is called the Judeo-Christian civilization. And we are on the same boat. And we have to be united in dealing with these challenges. By all means, so the Israeli government welcomed strengthening the relationship with the evangelical Christians. And this is the reason that I'm here tonight. Actually, the Iranian regime names Israel as a minor Satan. The great Satan is America, meaning the Western civilization led by the United States. So Israel shouldn't be...
You have to say that we are their ultimate targets. Is that how you would interpret that?
When they call to wipe Israel off the map, they go on saying, on the way to defeat the West. And I'm familiar with this issue since I was the head of the intelligence in the 90s. Today, all Western parties are on board in understanding the threat. They support the sanctions regime which has been imposed by the Security Council resolution. And even Russia and China, in a way, have come on board. It's not enough. As I mentioned, it should be a combined strategy to put the Iranian regime in the dilemma whether to have a bomb or to survive. We do agree with the US administration statement that a military nuclear Iran is unacceptable. And we claim that by one way or another, the military nuclear project in Iran should be stopped. The sooner is the better.
Now, you mentioned, you made a very interesting statement. I wrote it down about Iran, and you said about Iranian President Ahmadinejad, which sometimes we like to call him Ahmed genocide. We're praying just to be clear. We like him to be saved, but also removed. You said the choice is clear. I would say it was a newsworthy soundbite to me. He has a choice: the bomb or survival. And you felt, as you described it, if I understood you correctly, that he would choose survival, and that it would be suicide to continue on with the bomb. I'm not entirely sure, but you've got a lot more experience in this than me. But I look at his religious theology, particularly what he's saying about his end times theology, this idea that the 12th Imam is coming, and therefore he has to destroy the little Satan, great Satan. Is your assessment, the government's assessment, how we let not put words in your mouth, how would you assess that end times theology? Because it seems different from other radical regimes, though they're radical and terrible. But this seems substantively different. How does that factor in yours and the Prime Minister's thinking?
The one who makes decisions in Iran is not the President Ahmadinejad. The Supreme Leader Khamenei with the Council of Ayatollahs. And Supreme Leader Khamenei, in 2003, decided to suspend the military nuclear project. Why did it happen? In 2003, after the United States went to the offense, phase 1 in Afghanistan, phase 2 in Iraq, the main questions among the world leaders in our region were who might be next, who might be targeted in the third phase. At that time, Muammar Gaddafi of Libya decided to give up his military nuclear project. And at the same time, Khamenei decided to suspend this project for a while. In 2005, he decided to renew the call. Why? Because in 2005, he realized that the United States lost its political stomach. What we claim that there is a credible military option. They know that the capabilities are there or here. They are not sure that there is a will to exercise it here.
Well, if I can editorialize that, I would say there isn't. Which, unfortunately, just being candid, leaves your boss